Well, good morning, my YouTube brethren. I'm doing something they say you should never do. I'm driving around and videoing, but I'm just in the parking lot trying to get this thing kind of situated. Today's Monday. It's early in the morning. It's cold outside, but it's supposed to be a beautiful day today. And so, man, I'm going to get busy. So Mondays typically are my day off, quote unquote. Rarely do we have a full day off, but that is what they call it anyway. Let me get this adjusted right there. It's pretty good. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go get metal for our conservation project. This is the first one. So I'm going to go get metal for that, and then I'm going to come back. I'm going to drop it off. I'm going to get the shop welder put in the shop that we're going to be working on the signs with. So that'll take a little bit of time. After that, I'm going to go back to the property and I'm going to grab the blue boat. Yesterday, I drained the gas out of it, the old gas. So we're going to take it. I'm going to reattach all the gas hoses, and I'll go back and we'll put some new fresh gasoline in there. We're going to go dunk it in the water and see if we can get it to fire. Now, I have been told that it was completely overhauled before it was parked 2 years ago. You guys know how that deal goes. So we'll see if it is, we'll see if it's able to run or not. I don't know if I'll actually get it out on the water. If it fires right up, I probably will. I'll just take it around and see what it does. If it doesn't, of course, I won't even get it off the trailer. I'll just drag it back and we'll work on it. After that, I really want to fish today. But I'm not even going to take a fishing rod to the lake, because if I do, there's a good chance I won't come home. Even if I don't catch anything, it's supposed to be so pretty today. I may not come back. So I'm not even going to take a fishing rod. I'm not even going to tempt it myself. And when we get back from that, park the boat, and then I've got to tackle the beast of the Suburban is leaking out of the rear differential. So I'm going to have to replace the gear oil in there. And I haven't done it since I've owned it. It may not have been done since, it came off the factory, knowing that particular kind of maintenance doesn't get done a whole bunch. So anyway, that's the plan. Metal pickup, metal delivery, fire the boat, see if we can get it to run, change the rear differential grease, and then maybe at the end of all that, I'm going to tackle some of the shop at the house, because it's a mess at the moment. But we got a full busy day today, so I'm just going to bring you along, and hopefully you enjoy it. Well, they're getting my metal loaded right now, and that's pretty exciting stuff. Let me get over here in the better light, I think. This is one of my favorite places to come around and look. I don't know if it thrills anybody else, but just all kinds of scrap that they've got laying around. And so here in my particular area, they go out to these refineries, and they basically work for the refineries. They cut all this metal for them, and then whatever extras they have or they order for folks, they kind of get a little extra on that. But just they have like 4 yards about this size or a little bigger, and I love to just come out here and walk around and look at everything. I don't know, it's goofy, but I really like it. Got my metal, finally. Took a while to get it loaded. They were short-staffed, I guess, and it took a while to get some guys out there to get it loaded onto the trailer for me. And then I went all over town looking for a breaker bar for a 3/8" drive, or with a 3/8" drive. I found a bunch of halves, but no 3/8. And I hate ordering stuff. Like, I wish I could find it local. I like to support our local guys, but you gotta have it in stock, man. Like, I don't know. And not one of them even offered to order it for me. They were just like, no, we don't have it. Good luck. So it's frustrating. I really do want to I want to purchase local, but sometimes you just don't have a choice. So I'll probably get online and purchase that. I'm going to try to make do with what I've got this evening. So in that differential case, to open the drain at where you fill at the top, there's a little bolt in there, and it's got a 3/8" drive, and that's how you get the thing out. And if it hadn't been changed since I got it, or since it was manufactured, maybe it's not going to come out very easily. So we'll see if I've got enough to get it done, and I might have to get a cheater bar. But anyway, I'll go ahead and order one of those, because I'm going to need one as we begin to work on that particular Suburban, because it's old and you have to do some work on it. So I'm looking forward to diving into it. But anyway, so what I'm going to do real quick is get this metal unloaded, go get some lunch, and then we'll take the boat to the water, see if it'll run up. I would video me unloading this metal, but I'm really going to struggle with it, and I don't want you guys to see me struggle with it on camera. So just use your imagination and know that I'm getting all of this off with superhuman strength, and I didn't struggle at all. Here's all the metal. We got 4-inch square tubing there to make the stands, or the sign legs, And then over here we've got 1-inch square tubing as well as angle iron, and that will make the top frame as well as the frame that the sign actually sits in. So that's what we have. Quite a bit of money for that small amount of metal, but it is what it is. So let me get these unloaded and we'll go get something to eat. Look at there, empty trailer. Now, believe it or not, I unloaded all of that in one trip. One trip's all it took. Put it all on my shoulder, took it all off at one time. Believe it or not. Let's go get some lunch. Okay, lunch was great. Had to wait about 30 minutes extra because my father has been sick the past couple days, and he's getting cabin fever about as bad as you can get it, so he needs to get out. And I need a cranking battery because mine hadn't quite charged yet, and so he's got one. So he's gonna bring the battery, he's gonna meet me at the ramp, and we're gonna go ahead and see if we can't fire this thing off. I emptied the gas yesterday, and I just had an old siphon, and I just started emptying that out. I know that the gas was probably 2 to 2.5 years old, so it's definitely no good. So I got out what I could. There's a little bit of old gas left in the bottom, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it over here. We've got some non-ethanol gas, some really nice high-octane non-ethanol gas. I'll put 5 gallons in each tank. This is a 2-tank system on this old Champion. And I'll add some oil to it because I'm not 100% sure that the oiler is working. I think it is, but I'm not positive. So we're going to add some oil to it, and also I'll put some seafoam in there, and hopefully that will take away any issues that we have with the old gas. So that's what we're going to do. We'll go get this thing filled up. We'll take it to the lake. We'll dunk it, and we'll see if we can't get it to run. Go ahead.
Did you pump it?
Yes, I did. I sure did. All right, moment of truth here. I was hoping we'd be going to be able to do it without starting fluid, but we'll give it a whirl. Say when.
Okay.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Man, I am tickled pink. That is awesome, awesome. When Dad first started cranking it, I was just outside, filming. You could barely hear it. And I thought, well, something's wrong with the motor because it didn't sound right at all. And it's just, that Mariner 175 is so quiet. And so we got it up to speed, probably 60, 64. And I'm very pleased for what we paid for this boat to run right like that. I'm very, very happy, very happy. All right, let's get it loaded up. I'll tell you guys, it feels like it's been a long day already. It's just now 3:45-ish, and I've got this one thing left to do, and then maybe some cleanup in the shop because it's filthy at the moment. So I know I need to get working on that, but I don't really want to do anything. I am very happy with the way the boat turned out. That just makes me just thrilled. So the story on it was that it had just been redone. The whole lower unit and the outboard itself, it's a 175 Mariner. It had been redone and the whole lower unit's brand new. And then the guy got sick and it literally sat outside in the desert summers for 2 full years. And so you can definitely see that on the gel coat where it's set out there. And then also, for some reason, the gel coat's still there though. I mean, it didn't wear it away. We'll be able to sand that and make it really pretty. But one little shot of starting fluid, of ether, and man, she fired right up. And then we got out and she lagged a little bit. I don't know if it was it just kind of, you know, knocking the carbon off or what it was. But once she got going, it was on after that. And it's quiet, it's fast. I mean, with just me and Dad in the boat, no other, I mean, there's nothing else in there. We don't have any kind of materials or, you know, lures or anything, but probably 60, maybe 62. It was fast. It was a flying little dude. So I'm very happy to be fishing out of this boat and look forward to the season. It's going to be fun, especially when we get it all shined up and pretty. It's going to be quite the little rig. So, all right, let's tackle this Suburban. What I'm going to do, I won't bore you with all the itty bitty details. I'll drag out all the tools that I need. We'll get the thing propped up on the ramps, and we'll get going. The camera holder will not fit under here, so I'm going to do the best I can to show you what I'm doing real quick. You can find all these videos online. There goes my paper towel. I need that. You can find some great videos online on how to do this. So if you're needing to change this in your vehicle, go watch those videos, and maybe not mine. I'm simply an amateur that is going to attempt to do it. The last time I did it, it was not very easy. Hopefully this time will be easier. I am terrified of being under vehicles, so I've got it up on ramps and then put these things in for a little bit of added protection. I don't know why, it's always creeped me out. So anyway, let's get started. So when you get ready to do this, you got to get in there. That is your fill tube. You got to get that open. I would suggest getting that open before you start messing with the differential pan on the back. Probably wouldn't matter that much, but that's what I do. This in the Chevy GMC models, this is a 3/8 inch socket, or not a socket, but the actual wrench. So I do not have a 3/8 brake bar, but I do have an impact drill. So I'm going to try to drill this thing and make it work. If it doesn't work, I don't know what I'm going to have to do after that. Go get another tool. So let's pray that this works. Before I take that out, clean that area. Just got a little carb cleaner. Nothing too fancy. I wouldn't worry about it too much if you don't want any of that dust and stuff getting in there if you can help it. Now mine is caked with junk, so I'm just going to do the best I can. I'm going to pray this works. If it doesn't, I don't know what I'm going to do. Aha! That did work. Looky there. Success. I rarely get lucky like that, but I'll take it. Okay, these are all 1/2 inch. You can see how mine's leaking already, and so these definitely need to be changed. Interestingly enough, the last one I did, they were not all the same size. All the ones around here on the bottom were 1/2 inch, and then the ones that are holding this little doodad on top, they were 9/16. But this time they're all 1/2 inch. No wonder that stupid thing's leaking. They are not in there very good at all. Now you might ask why I didn't also use the socket wrench, or excuse me, the impact driver on these. And I could have for like 3 of them, but the rest of these it would not have fit. There's just stuff in the way. It wouldn't have worked. I could get the socket wrench, but this is the first thing I grabbed. It was right there at the entrance of my shop, and it was the easiest. And to be honest with you, it's not going to take that much more effort to do it this way. So it would have been nice to do it with the impact driver, I'll tell you, but there's just too much in the way. I told you before I didn't know, kind of the shape this was going to be in, or if anybody had done this in a while. And there's a couple of bad signs. The first one is these bolts are really loose, and I figured I was going to have to get a breaker bar or something in here to get these off, but that is not the case. These are I mean, just barely more than finger tight. So that is a little bit disconcerting. And then also, there's no grease or grease, oil, whatever you want to call it. There's none coming out, and that is not a good sign. I assume that means that this stuff is gummy and old and gross. And I hope that there is no damage to the actual teeth that are in this differential case, because that would open up a whole nother bag of worms that I'm not prepared to deal with today. Okay, now put a little pressure on that dude. Let that thing drain out. Oh man. It's not near as bad as I thought it was going to be. I can't feel any little pieces in there. It's not quite as bad as I thought. Not good, but not quite as bad as I thought. And there should be more in there than that. So you can hear that seal popping off. Okay, got it off. Now, the problem that I see here, the inside looks pretty good. We'll clean that up. They didn't use a gasket. What they used was the what they call make a gasket. And I've got some of that I'll help secure my gasket with, but this is just, it's just shoddy work. You want to use an actual gasket and not this make a gasket stuff. So I'm gonna have to get all this torn off. So that's gonna take a little bit. What I do is take your screws or your bolts, you can carb clean them, put a little gas on them, whatever you want. Get all that old gear oil and stuff off of there, scrub them real good, get this good and clean, get the outside good and clean. We're actually gonna paint this so it don't rust, and then we'll put it back together. I'm gonna get busy on it. Okay, so here's the deal. You see there on the top, that's what it's supposed to look like. The rest of it looks like this. It's just all gunky, and I tore all that stuff off with the knife, and oh, it's just not good. So went out and I got the grinder out with a little brush on it, and we'll see if we can't get this cleaned up, because this is unacceptable. Also, this top part, they've painted it before with a cheap paint and it cracked. That's not acceptable either. So I'm just going to get after this with the steel grinder wheel there, and see if we can't clean it up, because this is not acceptable. Okay, it's decent. It's not great, but it's decent. I'm just going to put some engine degreaser on it here. See if I can't get that last bit. Let that sit there a minute. We'll see what happens. Well, it's not perfect. It's a lot better than what it was. So the problem with this, leaving it like this, is it's going to rust. And so what you want to do is just kind of spray paint it with something, a rust protectant. So that's what I'll put on it now, and then we'll let it dry, and I'll probably do 2 coats, and then we'll be ready to put it back on there. Second coat done. It looks pretty good, a lot better than it did. Underside looks pretty good too. We'll have to treat it one more time in the morning, and I'll tell you why. Because that gasket right there that I bought, that I already put a little bit of gasket maker on, and by the way, you put a little gasket maker on your gasket. You don't make a whole other gasket for it if you can help it. That's the problem. But that's the wrong gasket. It's not big enough. So that leaves me very few choices for tonight. Okay, well, I'm gonna call it for the evening. It's Valentine's Day, and I'm gonna go in and cook a couple of steaks for me and the wife, and I'm gonna have a cigar and maybe even a nice little glass of bourbon. I don't know. Been on the wagon for a bit for some health issues. I'll fill y'all in on that at some point in the future, but good full day, not quite done. So I'm gonna bag this up to make sure no dust gets in that differential case overnight. Go get a gasket in the morning, put it back together, and call it good. So this will be it for this video. I might tag some more in the next video, but this will be it, and you'll just have to trust that I got it done. And man, appreciate you guys. Thanks for joining me today. God bless you and your family. You guys have a wonderful, safe week. We'll catch you next time.